again and to our empowerment hour. And today we have one of our special guests, and a lot of persons might have been anticipating this. And I hope you all are anticipating this because this is a very special guest that we have today. This is the first lady of the Ruseas Brosis family. And this person is none other than Shana. Shana, please introduce yourself to the Ruseas Brosis family and welcome once again.
Thank you, Darwin. I'm Shana Dunkley, and I went to Ruseas from 1985 to 1990, where I met some of you, or most of you guys I met. And some were before me, some came after, but I think I'm acquainted with most persons because I'm a people person, so that's me in a nutshell.
Of course, I mean, I can remember from as far back as um, before I even started high school, primary school days, we used to attend the same church every Saturday. We met at
Right.
the same church. So, you remember those days. We used to be hanging out, singing in the choir, doing all kind of things that we didn't know we could do.
I know, right?
And today, here we are. We are here today, and this is what we're going to do. It's a special occasion. It's very special for me, and I hope it is special for you too. How do you feel today?
Wonderful.
So how did you come up with this Russ's Brosis um thing? To because you're the one who added me to the group.
Oh,
Because Lindsay
yes.
told me about it, and then I called you and you just added me to the group and said, "Oh yes, you're gonna have Darwin in the group. So let's go ahead." And it was the sky's the limit right now. There's no looking
All
back.
right. Rusty's Brosis Foundation came about sometime after the passing of one of our own, unfortunately, Fabian Parrot Lawrence.
Yes.
It was on Facebook that I saw that, something happened to him, unfortunately. And I saw someone commented on one of the feed that we should try to take care of our own.
Absolutely.
And I saw that someone posted that Kenneth Gaynor Blacks was in a situation.
Yeah.
So I called Leroy Foster and I told him to go and find Kenneth Gaynor for me because I think he's one of our own, yes, in more ways than one, not just football, but from a humanitarian level, because we are all our brother's keeper and we should look out for each other. So Leroy found him, and I remember one Sunday he called on the phone and I spoke to him briefly. And I said, okay. He, said he was going through some stuff, and I said, okay, what can I do for you? And he said, well, I need, such and such, things. And I said, okay, I'll get back to you. But in the process, I got some not so good news from Jamaica, so I had to go down there personally. So I went down about 2 weeks or 3 weeks after, and myself, Leroy Foster,
Yes.
Glaswin Griffith,
Yes.
and Donald Hewitt,
Yes.
and also a friend of Ruseas and Roxroy Jackson. We
Right.
all put together and we did some stuff for him. And he was very happy, appreciative, and we I guess it traveled. The good news traveled because yes, good news
Right.
do travel.
Yes.
So I remember like a week later after I came back, or a few days later, some of the guys, Granny, Leroy, Roxroy, Troy, we we just came together on Facebook Messenger and we said, well, this was what happened, and we just said we need to live together,
Looking out for each
as
other.
one, look
Yes.
out for each other, and that's how Brosis started. And
And
we have been climbing, I think.
this is probably my third or fourth, maybe a month now, and every single week it gets better. It gets better. We are improving. The first week we started, we were just doing WhatsApp messaging. The second week we had improved. We were doing just we taped the session. Then the third week we were doing live streaming, and now we're streaming live ever since. And I'm sure the technical person is looking to go further. So that's just the way we have to. I mean, that's life. It's about growth. And if you're
Yes.
not growing, whether it's be physically or mentally, then you're pretty much stagnant. So you were very instrumental in that. And during that time, you recall, you had some bad news, but out of a bad thing, this is a good thing that was birth. So tell us about you remember you mentioned sometime when you went to high school, to primary school with all those guys, and did you go to high school with some of these same guys?
Yes, actually, most of them, we from Montego Bay, I would know them because my mother had a restaurant at the time in Lucy, right at Main Street. So they
Yes.
would always buy food from her and stuff like that. Because I was probably not even into Ruseas as yet when I
Right,
met some
right,
of these guys.
right,
So we are coming from a long, long, long time,
right.
until we became schoolmates. But most of them, were like 4 or 5 years older than I am.
Right, but the thing about it is that you have this kind of personality that attracts people to you. You're always smiling. You're very friendly. So I think it's natural because we've been friends since we met at when we were toddlers and to this day. So I can understand. I can understand that. Now, right now it says that you are. Did you have a privileged life then? You would say growing up.
Life is a privilege.
Okay, good.
To say I have a privileged life, I would say yes, because my mother, her name was Gladys Campbell.
Yes.
She taught us from an early age that we should give of self.
Yes.
So, in saying so, I can recall she teaching us to be loving, to be kind, to be respectful,
Absolutely.
always look out for your brothers and sisters. So, to say we have a privileged life, yes, because out of nothing we gave. We gave,
Yes.
we gave, we gave.
Wow.
I remember at some point in time when I was old enough to go in the kitchen, when I shared dinner in the evening, it would be like 14 plates.
Wow. It's a huge family.
No, because we would send dinner to other persons.
Wow. Less fortunate.
Yes. So we grew up like they say big yard.
Yes.
Right. So persons are always coming and
Yes.
persons are always going.
Always sharing.
Always
That's a good
sharing and caring.
discipline to have as a child growing up. It kind of molds you into, I guess, you can see the fruits of what it has made you right now. I'm looking at you and you look the same as I met you when you were a child. Just you're
Ooh.
more mature now, of course. So now we're going to kind of leap forward to Ruseas now with all this pandemonium. Did you play any sport in Ruseas?
I did. For one season, I played netball for Ruseas.
Yes.
And I participated in other stuff. What did else did I do? Apart from sports, um, cooking. I love to cook.
Of course, naturally. Your mother is a cook.
Yes. Yeah, so yeah, but I think netball and football.
Because you're always, when I was at Rossi's, you're always around where the footballers are. You know,
Yes.
you're always talking, always happy, always jovial. So I guess that is that motherly, loving personality that you had, that you still have now, because for you to start something like this, it shows that it's something that's within you. It hasn't changed.
Not one bit.
I can see that, because you are like the core of the group that keep it going right now. We look forward to hear you, saying, putting out those pretty hearts, blue, yellow, and green hearts every day.
That's my signature.
I know that. I know a lot of persons look out for that Ruseas color, green, blue, and yellow. And you're the
Yes.
first person I see put that out, and I always wonder, why is it for? But then I realize it's Ruseas color. How can you forget that?
No,
You
no.
Now the next thing I want to look at is so you, after Ruseas, then you I mean, it came up to graduation. So you did your thing at Ruseas, you graduated, and talk about that a little bit.
High school for me was challenging,
Yes,
but I think that was one of the changing points in my life. It molded me
yes,
um, to the person I am today.
yes.
I learned a lot at Rossi's. It's different. High school on a whole, it's different because you're gonna be interacting with a lot of different personalities and
Absolutely.
a lot of different subject areas too.
Yes, yes.
So it's different. It's completely different from primary school because we had like 4 subjects or 5 subjects, but high school is like 18 subjects. So you would have to make the adjustments accordingly.
Naturally. Of
Yes.
course, naturally.
Mhm.
Naturally. So now you have graduated into becoming a young lady. What happened after high school? What did you do?
After high school, I started to work. Um, I remember my first job was at the public works department. I got my first job, summer job.
I think I remember that too.
You did?
I do remember that.
Well, yes, I my first job, and there was my supervisor was this guy named Solji
I know him.
from Middlesex.
Yes, I know who we're talking about.
Right. And I can bravely say my first paycheck I bought myself a red skirt.
So maybe your favorite color is red.
Oh, there you go. Yes. So yeah, my first job. So and I did accounting there.
Yes.
But my dream job as a child, I wanted to be an air hostess.
Wow.
And that did not materialize. I tried,
Yes.
but for some reason it did not materialize. And then I said I wanted to do nursing.
Yes. Okay.
So I am on my merry way, yes. So right
Yes.
now, I'm a CNA.
What's a CNA?
It's a certified nursing assistant.
Oh, I was thinking about certified network administrator in computers. Okay, but that's a different thing.
It's different.
Okay.
I assist the nurses. So my journey as a or in the nursing field started from home
Right, right.
because I am the smallest of 7, and I took care of my sister's children, and then in later years I took care of my sick brother and
Yes.
then my mother. So I got my early experiences at home,
Right. That's the best place.
right? And then I I used to. I wasn't working much at that time. So whenever I find any spare time, I would go to the infirmary.
Mhm.
I clean out my closet. I take clothes, shoes, whatever I can find that I'm not gonna use anymore. Take them
Yes.
to the infirmary. What I would call first,
Yes.
find out from the matron what, stuff they needed. And
Yes.
then I would, look to see if I have any at home. If not, I would personally buy. And then it went further. I started to cook and take to the infirmary.
Wow. So you're always trying to be around caring, being around people who need help, that kind of family, motherly, caring person. You still hang around them.
Precisely. And yes, they look forward to my visits because I used to try to go at least once per month.
Wow.
And so I started off with, bringing stuff. Then I started to do some bathing. I did some, care of the nails,
Yes.
wash
Yes.
hair, comb hair, and stuff like that.
How old were you at that time? Ca- Can you hear me, Shana?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you clear. I'm saying, how old were you at that time when you were doing all this at the infirmary?
I was in my 30s.
Okay, so it was a journey there. Okay. So what was the
Yes.
experience like? How did they receive you? Did you like it? Were you, I mean, scared of these people because some of them are sick and getting treatments, some are older people, what was your thoughts?
Most time the reception was good. I don't know if you remember our schoolmate Charmaine. She's one of the residents there.
Hmm.
And she she has her moments when she'll receive you peacefully, I would
Right.
say.
Yes.
And another time she will be in wrath against you because you did not take anything specifically for her.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, but most times, and I remember I started to travel in like my early 30s. I started to travel and I didn't go like for a year and 6 months. I didn't go to the infirmary. And when I went back, one of the residents said, you didn't come here for 1 year and 6 months.
She remembered.
She remembered, yes. So, they know, they look forward, and it's a rewarding feeling because you go and, most of these persons are forgotten by their own. So,
Yes, yes, so sad.
it's always a welcoming feeling, to know that, persons appreciate someone coming to look for them in that
Yes.
state.
And somebody cared. And I mean, being in
Right.
the infirmary, I've visited them sometimes. I've not have you know, the benefit of being there in the capacity like you have. And I've never had that. I've visited on occasion with the church. The pastor would pray for them, and that was as much as I get to go there. And based on how you've been there, you're like you were part of the system. You were there doing what the government normally would be doing, but you were there volunteering to help these people. That must take a lot out of you to do all of this.
It's a joy. I enjoy doing it. So I wouldn't say, it wasn't much of anything beyond me because you're doing the work of the Lord. So,
Absolutely.
right. So, it wasn't taxing on me or anything because when you give, especially
Yes.
to widows
Yes.
and the fatherless, the whatever, you will
Yes.
receive the blessings.
Of course, and I mean, persons might be watching now or listening, and hear you mention that, and might be thinking, in order for me to receive, I might have to start giving then. But you have to let people know. Listen, you don't give because you want to receive. You give with the genuineness of your soul, and that's a
Yes.
great point you just made. So moving from there, you went. That motivated you to become to your next goal to become a nurse, a CNA.
Yes. So, I have been applying because I used to work at the Lucy Health Center as a community health aide.
See, always surround yourself with that.
Right. So I have been applying for this job for over 10 years.
Wow.
And I finally got my breakthrough in 2011.
Okay.
After so many years of applying, I applied, I got called in, did the tests, I did the interviews, I passed every one of them, only to be
Wow.
told, um, not this time and stuff like that. Um, one of the time I did the test and the interview, I was told that I do not look like someone who needs a job.
Wow. Wow. Well, you didn't, because that was not a job for you. That was something that you love to do.
Exactly. So in 2011, the Lord opened the way and I became a community health aide at the Lucy Health Center.
Yes.
And I worked there from 2011 to 2016 and I migrated.
Wow. Okay. But just, that's a nice little, I like the way you put that together right there. You know, so you were always surrounding yourself, you were always involved in helping, assisting people who are less fortunate. That says a lot about you, because you have that calming, relaxed mentality and spirit around you. You have that environment around you that welcomes persons. And, you know, but what does it, how do you become a CNA? What are the qualifications for the benefit of persons who are watching, who might want to follow that career path like you are doing now? You know, what would they need to do to be that?
They have different places that offer courses. For
Right,
example, I went to a training school, or but it's not a community college. So
right,
it's like a school that trains persons in dementia, how to deal with dementia
right.
patients, and so on and so forth. And they did offer the services of a CNA and a HHA, and that's a
Okay.
home health assistant.
Okay,
So
good. Thank you.
the course that I did was inclusive of the three.
Okay,
So I am certified as a nursing assistant, a home
okay.
health aide, and the other
CNA
block,
certified.
the not a CNA, the
Okay.
Alzheimer's and
Oh,
dementia.
oh, oh,
Yes,
really? Wow.
yes. So
That's
I
a
was
lot.
trained, right? I was trained in all three capacities.
Wow. So you are able to help persons then who are way beyond helping themselves.
Most definitely, because knowledge and wisdom is not something to keep for yourself. You impart it with
Yes.
others.
Thank you.
So, as I said earlier, the courses are offered like at community colleges. If you're here in the States, I'm not sure. They have nursing schools in Jamaica, I think, that offer
Right,
those
right,
courses as well.
right,
So
right.
for anyone who wants to go in that field, it's a very rewarding field.
Right.
It's very rewarding. You have that feeling of accomplishment.
Yes.
When you take care of someone, I'm not talking directly your own. I'm talking about someone that comes in your path. You don't know the impact that you leave, because sometimes even a smile goes a long way.
Oh, yes. Yes. I
So
agree.
yes. So um the courses, they run like different length of time.
Right, right.
The one I did was for 2 months.
2 months. Okay.
Yes, and along they'll give you different syllabuses, and each time you complete one, they will give you a test, and until you get your final exams. Then
Absolutely. Yes.
after your final exam, that would let the person at the school, your tutor,
Yes.
she would know. I'm not sure if that's what everybody does, but the school that
Right,
I
right.
went to, she
Right.
would apply to the state, because you would have to do a state test.
Yes, that's a state board exam. Everyone has to do that in order to be certified to
Right,
assist persons. Of course, most
right.
definitely.
Yes. So that is what I did. And first time I went and I did the test, I did not pass it. And
Wow.
I went back and I did it and I got through. I passed it. Um, I was, a bit worried because I know I did all that was required.
Yes.
And I think you have to do a written test and you have to do a practical test.
Wow.
So
Well, of course.
you would have to take a, they call it a model,
Yes.
someone for you to practice on.
A live person.
Yes, a live person. Yes, you would have to do, because they give you different scenarios you choose,
Yes.
and yes, you have to do it.
Wow. Were you afraid that you were going to make a mistake? What was the feeling like?
I was nervous, to be honest. I was nervous the first time, and probably, I don't know if that was my downfall, but I was nervous.
It's natural.
Um, yes. The second time, I went in like a pro, and I got, I got through, and I'm grateful, because a lot of persons do it like 3, 4 times, and they haven't gotten through.
Yes,
So
yes, yes,
it's a privilege.
yes, yes. I mean, I don't think it matters how many times you do it. The fact that you did not stop because you know what you wanted to do. And that was your passion. That is your passion. And you know that this is what I want to do. And you kept on doing it. I mean, whether it take you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, the number doesn't matter. You know that this is what you have to do. And you're just going to do it until you get it. And you persevered.
Yes, perseverance.
Perseverance is the key. So you know, right now, when you told me that you were a CNA, I was kind of thinking, how can it benefit? You know, do you think is it beneficial to you by you being a CNA
Yes.
personally? Like, how does it help you
Personal
personally?
gratification. For me, I love to take care of people. And whenever I go to work, I go to work with an open mind, because
Yes,
most of these persons that I work with, they're in a different state of mind from
yes,
myself and others.
yes,
So the work is very challenging, um, especially you go in to a situation where someone is angry, because
yes,
right now it's a very difficult time. They have not seen their relatives because of the
y-
pandemic.
yes,
So
yes.
there are days when you go to work and they're upset. So you have to bring that comforting spirit with you,
Wow, wow.
to soothe them out, because they can be rough in terms of rough around the edges. They are thinking that their family have abandoned them.
Yes,
They're thinking their family is dead.
right.
They're thinking that no one loves them. So you have to
Yes,
give them that care and compassion,
yes.
what they're looking for. So, as I
Wow.
said, then also you have those that you'll go into work and they said, I need you to take me somewhere. We have a lot of work to do, and so they are going back down memory lane of what they used to be.
Oh, yes, yes. Those are the ones with what you call it, dementia. Is that what it is?
Dementia, yes, and you have
Oh,
different
okay.
stages.
Oh, wow.
So like you have stage 1, 2, 3. You have, like they said, they have the frontal. So
Right.
yes, yes. So you
Wow.
have to be so careful when you're dealing with these kind of, but I mean, personally, my life is enriched by,
Right.
taking care of these old folks,
Right. Right.
um, our older folks, I should say, because
Right.
it doesn't, our person who are sick in general, because you have
Right.
young persons too who are sick,
Yes.
and you still have to take care of them.
And to know that you have this kind of, you have to put on this multiple personalities to go in there, and like, at the same time you have to be focusing on each individual person and their particular illness,
Need.
because you have to be where their needs, right? Because
Hmm.
you have to be focusing on what is required for this particular person. You have to be on your feet, because you might get there and what do they normally do, that person's in a different state of mind. I mean, moving from one state of mind to the next. I mean, it shows that
Yes.
you're you have versatility to be jumping from one personality to the next just to accommodate these people.
Well, honestly, I started to this new job. I started in October, and um, my first day or night, I would say, I said to myself, Shana, do you think you can do this?
Yes.
Because even though you went to school and you got the training, but the
Yes.
hands-on training, it's totally different.
I would imagine. Yes. Yes.
Because you have to ensure that you practice all the safety measures.
Yes.
You have to know the laws. You have to know,
Yes. Yes.
what each individual needs are, and
Yes.
you have to ensure that you protect yourself too
Yes. Most
at all
importantly.
times, right? And no, it is so easy, because you have to remember the steps. But now you
Yes.
go to
Yes.
work, you just go, you do what you have to do, ensure that the patients are taken care of the right and proper way.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
each individual has different needs.
Yes.
So, but at the end of the day, the feeling, it is out of this world.
When
I
you're finished,
remember,
yes, go
I,
ahead.
I, I can tell you, there's an old lady at the facility that I work. And she said to me, Shauna, I have been here like 3 years now, and you are the first person who has been so tender and kind to me. And I'm like,
Wow,
wow,
that's amazing.
it is. But yeah, so you look at these people as your own, because it could be my mother, it could be your mother, it could be somebody else's mother, but you have to,
Yes,
treat these people with the love and the respect, and regardless of what they're going through,
yes,
you have to, you know be aware, of, what you say to them.
yes,
How do you respond to a current
yes.
situation, you
Right,
know yeah, but it's a
right.
joy working with them.
And just that I was my, I want to follow up on that, because all that you just spoke about right now is a lot. It's a whole room full of conversation that you just said a while ago. And I want to look at that, in the opposite of that now, because I know there are times when you try your best and everything you try, there's always that roadblock. This person is not doing what you want them to do, and then it gets very testing, and you start to think, I'm not saying you're going to get angry, but you start to feel that you get defensive, and you want to get frustrated. And do you ever get frustrated, I mean, at some point, with anyone like that?
Yes. A few weeks ago, I was taking care of this person, and I went into work, because you're required to, when you go on your shift, you need
Yes,
to introduce yourself and let them know that you'll be their nurse for the evening.
yes.
So I went in and I said, "Hello, Miss So and so," and she said, "What?" So I said,
Attitude.
"Okay." And I said, okay, I'll come back. And I went and I did some other, because with this pandemic, we have to do their vital signs, on a regular basis. So that was what I
Yes.
was trying to do. Anyway,
Yes.
she said, um, can someone get some rest around here? So I said, I didn't say anything to her. So I went out, look about some other persons, and then I went back to her room, and her roommate was there. So I was with another coworker, and she said, "Hi, Miss So and So. I'm just trying to get some rest. Why is it so hard?" So we didn't bother to trouble her anymore, and we did. Unfortunately, we went for dinner with the other
Yes.
residents, and she thought that we were neglecting her, which was not the case. So um, she called the nurse and said, no one bothered to come and get me for dinner. And I said, that is not true. But sometimes it is good to have evidence. I think your microphone is off, Darwin.
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Yes. Yes. So, sometimes, you have to have evidence, because these persons, they belong to the state. So
Yes.
they can report you anytime.
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
So you have to be careful, very
yes,
careful.
yes, yes. That was the next thing I was coming to, because the legality of it, it's just a thin line between you having you getting to be at work and not being at work, because it can affect you could be out of a job in a split second.
Yes.
So for the benefit of a person now who wants to learn about this to learn about this function, how would you go about trying to explain to someone that this is what you need to do if you want to maintain this job or this kind of workplace. This is what you have to maintain, especially like you mentioned, the legality of it.
All right. For me personally, whenever you're entering a nursing home facility as a
Yes,
worker, you have to have a mindset to think that, remember that most of them are not in their right minds.
yes, 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 yes,
So you have to be swift in your thinking, you have to be swift in your walking
yes,
and in your talking, because
yes.
things can be misunderstood.
Very
So,
true, very
yes,
true.
so at all times, you would try to be on the safe side.
Yes,
And
yes,
when you learn about the needs and a
yes,
situation with a certain individual, you try
yes.
to have evidence with you at all times.
Oh, so that's what it is then. You have to always try to cover yourself to protect you and to protect the individual at the same time, because it's a two-way street. It's not a one way.
Correct.
Because you're right. So, wow. So when you get licensed to be a CNA, how long do you have to renew that license? Does it last for like a year, 5 years?
Every two
Or
years.
every 2 years? Okay, good.
Mhm.
Now let's say for benefit of persons who are going to Ruseas who want to choose that career path now, what would you say to these persons? How would you advise them to choose that?
For me personally, if you don't have a caring, compassionate, empathic spirit, do not go into
Yes.
that field.
Aha. Very important. Very important. Very important. So you have to have that caring personality before you even, because a lot of persons, when we're growing up, a lot of persons want to be policemen, doctors, nurses, and in order for you to be in a particular field, especially nursing, you have to be patient. You have to be, I mean, patient to take care of the patient. Then you
Mhm.
have to be very, respectful of other person, kind and sharing, and you exemplify all those qualities. So it is fitting that you are in that field right now. So when you by
Correct.
you talking about it to me now, I can feel it because I can feel the compassion. I can hear it in your voice. I know that you are, I've never seen you working, but I can tell just by the way you talk about it that you're doing a fine job wherever you are. And these persons probably, they really appreciate you coming because you have that mindset of it's not about you, it's about the persons you are taking care of.
Right.
Right.
And we are
So,
constantly reminded that, these persons are going through a lot.
yes, that is it. That is it. That is it. And sometimes, for persons who have I'm trying to think of a way to put it so it to not have to repeat yourself. But the thing is, because by doing Brosis, we're trying to see if we could have this as a vehicle to try to motivate other persons who might want to choose career paths of the persons inside of the group. And you are one very good example of that because a lot of ladies love to be nurses, even males. I didn't even know males could be nurses until I was a grown man, you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I see a lot of guys doing the same thing that you are doing because
Yes.
individuals are individuals and they have the same kind of kindness and respect and lovingness just like that. So I mean, would you recommend a program to be implemented at the Ruseas if they already don't have one for this kind of career choice?
Certainly, that would be a plus for us. Yes. Yeah, because I'm not sure of what subject matter it would be, but certainly in the health field, yes.
Yes, yes,
So certainly it would be a plus for us to have that kind of learning added to their curriculum.
yes, of course, of course, of
Mm,
course, of
certainly,
course.
certainly. Yep.
So after CNA now, I'm sure you're not going to stop at being a CNA. This is, I mean, you're young and you are now a CNA. So I'm sure you have your eyes set on something else because this is just the beginning of your life now. What next after CNA?
Um, I'm thinking about becoming an administrator in the same health field,
Yes, yes,
but it's early days. I have to learn more. There's a lot
yes,
more to learn.
yes,
So
yes,
yes, that would be my next move.
yes. Very good, very good. Shana, I want to tell you, it has been a pleasure. I mean, you being on this program today, it's so helpful because I'm sure a lot of persons right now, you know that, I mean, you may not know them, but they know you. There are some persons who you are friends with in the group who have children who probably know you too, because you're a public person, you're a public figure. There are persons who would want to be like you right now. When persons see this, I'm sure there are going to be persons who will be motivated to want to be like you. So I want to say, I mean, is there anyone you want to say, like the persons who you were playing, you used to hang out with all of these guys and they are part of this group. Is there anyone you want to say, anything else you want to say to them before we go?
Personally, I love and appreciate all of you guys. I would not really single out because I would be in big trouble. I don't want to single out, but much love and respect to every one of my brothers and sisters. I love you all. I appreciate
Yes,
you all. And
yes,
it's a good feeling to be a part of this group. And
yes,
yeah, we're moving in the right direction.
yes, yes. That is something too, and I'm glad that you said that because I can feel it. These technical persons that are run, there's always persons that do the things, technical jobs. They try to make sure everything is running perfectly. So we are just the persons on the front trying to be the, making sure that we do what we do. And for you coming in today, taking your time from your job to talk with us today, I really appreciate every single moment of your time today.
I enjoyed being here as well. I certainly appreciate it. And
All right.
I love the love and the respect and the unity and everything. It's nice.
It
It's a
is,
nice
it,
vibe.
yes, it's a bundle. And even though we play a lot of music, it's a bundle of joy. It's very informative. Some persons don't talk a lot yet. You're one of those persons who are very vocal, and we appreciate you being here today. I really appreciate that. And I'm sure they, on the behalf of the Ruseas Brosis Family Foundation, which you are very instrumental in getting up, we appreciate you today. I mean, red is your favorite color, and look at you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you again for being on this program today, Shana.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for coming in today. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another one of our series of the Ruseas Brosis Foundation Family Empowerment Hour. And our special guest today was Miss Shana Dunkley. And she's a CNA, which is a certified nurse assistant. She helps a lot of persons who need the help. She's very patient, she's loving, she's kind and caring. And she does take care of a lot of persons who really need that help. She talk about some things that I never even thought that persons go through. And we really want to appreciate her and thank you again. So you have a nice day. And thank you guys for listening out there in the Ruseas Brosis family land. We want to thank you again for taking part